Who was the real William Wallace? How historically accurate was the 1995 film Braveheart? How important was the story of William Wallace to the Scottish independence movement? Braveheart is one of the highest grossing historical films ever released and is great entertainment. But is it accurate historically? Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former soldier, Marine Corps Scout Sniper, history professor, historian and book author, and we will answer these questions and other issues on this segment of Forgotten. Contrary to the film, William Wallace was not a commoner. He was a lower noble from a farming family of the Clan Wallace. He was born in 1270 in Elderslie, Scotland. There is no evidence that he ever traveled to Rome with his uncle Argyll, who is a created figure. Edward II, also known as Edward of Carnarvon, was in fact homosexual, the son of Edward I. But he did not marry Isabella, the daughter of King Philip IV of France, also known as Philip the Fair, until 1308. The reigning monarch of Scotland at that time was Alexander III, who died without an heir after his 3-year-old granddaughter and his only surviving relative died, hence the struggle for the crown. John Balliol and the Balliol clan claimed the throne, but they were opposed by Robert the Bruce's clan. Thus a civil war was ongoing. Edward I of England took advantage of this situation and began bribing Scottish nobles, and Balliol was established as de facto king, at least for a time. John Balliol even forged an alliance with France in his bid to keep the throne and fight Edward I, as Edward was responsible for turning nobles against him. Edward I's response was predictable. In the film, Wallace attacked the town of Lanark and killed the sheriff, William Heselrigg, since the sheriff had killed his wife. But Wallace was not even married at the time. Not depicted is the true story of Wallace joining Lord William Douglas in attacking Scone, forcing the English Lord Mayor William de Ormsby to abandon the town. Wallace and Douglas joined forces, starting the Scottish War of Independence, culminating in the Battle of Stirling Bridge on September 11, 1297. It is odd that the film did not depict the Battle of Stirling accurately. There was no bridge involved in the film, but in fact the bridge was the major tactical maneuver that Wallace and Douglas used to defeat the English. They had them channel into a very narrow kill zone trying to cross the bridge, and as Englishmen were dying, more were pushed into the breach. Eventually, the bridge, being old and made of stone, collapsed, with hundreds of English soldiers falling into the river and drowning. The English were slaughtered. As more English soldiers were forced in to replace the dead, Edward knew that he was not going to win this battle. Wallace, played by Mel Gibson, uses a claymore broadsword as his battle sword. The problem is that claymore did not exist until the early 1400s. In the film, the Scots wear kilts. Nice, but they were just about 300 years too early. The kilts did not come into fashion until the 1500s, and each clan had their own pattern design called a tartan. The second battle depicted was the Battle of Falkirk, which the Scots did lose. After the loss of Falkirk, Wallace resigned as guardian of the Kingdom of Scotland shortly thereafter, but remained dedicated to the cause of Scottish independence, running guerrilla warfare operations against British towns and garrisons. He continued his guerrilla campaign against the English for several years, and even traveled to France to have an audience with King Philip IV of France, hoping to get an alliance against Edward. In a height of irony, it was actually Philip IV of France, in concert with his hand-picked Pope Clement V, who denounced the Knights Templar on Friday the 13th, 1307, which is where the legend of the day Friday the 13th being unlucky comes from. Philip would not engage in parley with Mel Gibson's character, William Wallace, because he was currently at that time in negotiations with Edward I, Longshanks, and having his young daughter Isabella married to Edward II, Edward's son. William Wallace did meet with Philip, but due to the situation as described, and Philip owing the Templars more money than the Kingdom of France had in its coffers, Gibson's character, William Wallace, went back to Scotland without a treaty and with no French support. However, William Wallace's legend had scattered all over England, Wales, and Scotland. Everyone knew who he was. But Wallace's time was running out. He was betrayed by a Scottish knight, John de Menteith, who handed him over to the English authorities in the year 1305. And he was executed on August 23rd of that year. This part the film got right. He was hanged and revived before he could go unconscious, emasculated, then eviscerated, with his manhood and intestines displayed in front of him before he was drawn and quartered, which required removing the arms, legs, and the head in front of a live studio audience, so to speak. And his arms and legs were carried to the four corners of the kingdom, and his head was placed on London Bridge covered in tar as a reminder that Edward would not tolerate rebellion. On a scale of 1 to 10 for historical accuracy, I rate Braveheart at 3. Yes, there was a William Wallace. Yes, there was an Edward I Longshanks. Yes, there was a Robert the Bruce. There were 2 battles of Stirling and Falkirk. And there was a Princess Isabella, but she was not involved until after the death of Wallace and her father-in-law. But it is a great entertaining movie, and it did a lot to inspire Scottish nationalism, even in the present day when the film was released. So, therefore, as far as a film for entertainment value, I give it high marks and give it a 10 out of 10. We hope you enjoyed this segment of Forgotten History. Please click like and subscribe for free. And please stay tuned and be engaged and informed. Send us comments if you have questions or even show ideas, and we will respond to all requests and comments as soon as we can. Thank you.